You are now listening to Lady Denim. Kick back and enjoy the ride. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Lady Denim, and today's topic we're going to be talking about the Missouri cannibal case, the tragedy of Cassidy Rainwater. In Missouri, there is this case that isn't getting much attention, and it caught my eye. I actually stumbled upon it randomly on TikTok. Of course, one has to take any information from TikTok with a grain of salt. But the case of Cassidy Rainwater and speculation surrounding it has my mind running in circles. This case could go deeper down a rabbit hole more than anyone would expect. 33-year-old Cassidy Rainwater was last seen alive mid-July and wasn't reported missing until the 25th of August. On September 16th, the FBI contacted Dallas County Sheriff's Office saying they had received an anonymous tip that Cassidy was caged up on the property belonging to a man named James Phelps. Now, what is being said is that anonymous tip found photos of her confined in a cage, partially naked, on the dark web. Along with the photos, there were others allegedly showing Cassidy's dead body bound to a gantry crane, which is commonly used for deer processing, but in this case, it was used for her evisceration and dismemberment. The FBI used software face recognition and confirmed it was her in the photos. Police spoke to Phelps that same day, who allegedly claimed Cassidy had been staying with him temporarily and then one night left, likely to Colorado. Phelps stated about a month prior, Cassidy had met a vehicle at the end of the driveway and left in the middle of the night. However, detectives recognized items in Phelps' backyard that coincided with the photos. So when police walked to the back of the cabin, they saw meat hooks in the bathroom through a window. Law enforcers then asked the judge for a search warrant, and the following morning, police kicked down Phelps' door and allegedly found him eating a human sandwich. He allegedly laughed and told investigators that he served human ribs to an unsuspecting neighbor a few days prior. Now imagine being that neighbor. Ugh. Anyway, during their search, cops found vacuum-sealed body parts with detailed labels in a freezer and 7 photos of Cassidy on Phelps' phone. They also found skeletal remains at an adjoining property which were confirmed to be Cassidy Rainwater by the crime lab. The flesh from the freezer also tested to be positive for Cassidy's DNA. James Phelps also had an accomplice who was named Tim Norton. Now check this out. Tim Norton is a cross-country truck driver. Now before I get into the rumors, Norton did confess to helping Phelps in murdering Cassidy Rainwater. Norton told FBI agents that Phelps had him come over while Cassidy was sleeping on the living room floor. After entering the house, he held Cassidy's legs down while Phelps strangled her and placed a bag over her head. The two then proceeded to move her lifeless body outside, where Phelps bound her to the gantry crane and began the evisceration and dismemberment. So the rumors circulating this case are actually not so far-fetched. However, despite my beliefs that those details can be valid, there is still more to be unraveled. The first rumor is that Phelps and Norton worked together in the nefarious, wicked business of distributing human meat for profit on the dark web. If this rumor comes out to be true, this cannibalistic murder case could be a national case, meaning a lot of unsolved disappearances or missing persons might be found. This rumor has a chance to actually be valid. 1. Tim Norton is a cross-country truck driver who could deliver or kidnap victims from other states. 2. Not only that, but that would explain why Cassidy's disturbing, mutilated photos were posted on the dark web. Keep in mind that the Moon Valley Road property of James Phelps has burned down the evening of October 4th. During the initial investigation, a Dallas County deputy found a device resembling a tripwire. On October 12th, Ozark first obtained a report from the bomb squad confirming that 2 incendiary devices were found at the scene. The devices were made with mortar tubes, balloons, and coiled fuses with a tripwire attached. That information has led me to believe there is far more than 2 depraved fucks cannibalizing unsuspecting victims. That fire wasn't a coincidence. It was obviously set up in case the 2 were jammed up. So, what evidence are they trying to hide? Could there also be an unknown third person involved? We won't know for certain as of now, but I feel that if they were simply murdering people to cannibalize them for their own gratification, there wouldn't be a point to burn down the house, unless they escaped and left the country. But they were caught and charged with kidnapping and murder of Cassidy Rainwater, so what else could there be? Who are they trying to protect? I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but it's just odd that they would do that. Hence why I think the dark web rumor could possibly be true, but let's see. I can't guarantee that it is. The second rumor is that Phelps and Norton are behind the disappearance of the Springfield 3. The Springfield 3 refers to an unsolved missing persons case that began on June 7th, 1992, when friends Suzanne, Susie Streeter, and Stacy McCall, and Suzanne's mother, Cheryl Levitt, went missing from Levitt's home in Springfield, Missouri. If you want to read more about this case, I will leave a link in the description. So the reason people believe this case could be linked to James Phelps and Tim Norton is the green Dodge van the women were reported to be seen in, driven by a man or a blonde woman. Ironically, a green van happens to be on James Phelps' property, which isn't too far from where the women were abducted. However, this rumor could definitely be people blowing smoke. I came across a thread on Reddit stating the vans are completely different in appearance and are different models. I honestly think the cases are not linked in any kind of way, but figured I'd mention it because I thought this rumor was interesting. If you happen to read about the Springfield 3, you'd probably agree it's just people talking out of their derriere. I am curious to see how this all turns out and will definitely keep up with updates. What happened to Cassidy Rainwater was a sordid, unpardonable act, and I hope her family has found some closure and Cassidy is given the justice she rightfully deserves. May James Phelps and Tim Norton rot in hell. Thank you for listening. You can follow me on Twitter and Insta at Adenum. You can also like and follow the Lady Adenum podcast page on Facebook. Until next time, darling.